right, I'd like to call instruction committee to order. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from last month.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. List of field trips are there for our review. Any questions on the field trips? Seeing none.
I actually have a question.
Go ahead.
It's just an explanation. What is the SALT club?
Student Athletic Leadership Team. It's students at the high school that,
Okay.
that are leaders in their building, and they're athletes.
Okay,
It's a club.
okay, thank you. Too many acronyms.
I know.
Right,
I agree.
a lot to keep track of.
I asked
Any
about
other-
a couple of them today myself.
Any other questions about the?
We don't have to vote on that.
Nope. Only other, well, really this substantive stuff is the 5-year plan. And there's an extensive list of instruction stuff, as I recall.
Not as bad as other committees.
Really?
Mrs. Harrington and I have gone through this multiple times. So
Okay. Oh, yeah, I guess it's.
oh, sorry, it did go on to page 2. My fault. It is extensive.
All right.
So we
Mr. Bollier,
review the top ones.
So this is what we do. We're gonna go through, I'll read the items, right? And the committee, usually what you do is you pick like an overall topic theme that you can categorize this. And then we put those into the parking lot at the end of the step,
All right.
okay?
So we
So-
review the current list of our priorities and then our current parking lot, and then look at the list below.
So this is what we will do. We are actually gonna go through the list below. Okay, so, for example, we'll start with item 1 from comments from the community survey. Active shooter drills. The best statement for that is school safety.
Right.
Alright, so that will actually take care of multiple items all fall under school safety. So we're gonna put school safety. Eventually, we're gonna move this into our parking lot.
And I see Ms. Harrington is putting the
She's on
categories.
top of this. Her and I just typed the same word, that's good. First aid supplies and regular training for treatment of life-threatening injuries, gunshot wounds, for example, for all faculty. That would be another example of, unless the committee disagrees, school safety.
I agree.
It also can fall under professional development, but because they do, I believe, active shooter drills in their professional developments. Supervisors Academy for all administration. That has already been categorized above as professional development. Aligning science and STEM projects to competencies / cross-cutting concepts. I'm not in education enough to understand that.
I'm in education and I don't understand that. Cross-cutting concept?
Like going across the curricular,
Well, it's curriculum,
yeah.
so we want to look at curriculum. I don't know if you can define every item on this survey clearly enough to
Yeah,
know
so
exactly what they mean, but
we're doing our best, right?
Was it science and social studies, you said?
It was a
STEM.
what? Science and STEM.
And was that from an elementary, or does it not
Doesn't
state?
It never was clarified.
Because I think there's a huge difference between the elementary and the high school.
For sure.
So the next one is apprenticeships for students that match their career pathways. We have above expand career pathways in middle school and high school. So I don't really have to add, it's good. Our grads prepared is CBE working for our students. I don't know what CBE is.
That's
Competency-based.
competency-based
Thank you, sir.
education, and that's up there.
And are we holding our students accountable? How do we keep good teachers in the classroom? So
So that's
the
item
teachers are moved into personnel, that's already been handled. Are we holding our students accountable?
4. It's item 4,
Right.
review of competency-based grading and assessment.
Thank you.
So that already exists.
Behavior of students. Is there a category we would put that in?
School safety.
School safety, thank you. Better reading program, closure of the 3 small schools. So that closure part is referred to back to 5-year and also building. And the better reading program would be under curriculum, which we are currently just, are we on year 2, Christine, of the new reading program?
We are.
So hopefully we can just check. Bullying, back to our school safety. The next one is an ongoing discussion about competency-based learning, national testing, another new program, so this is a curriculum. Expand extra help for students. That would be under curriculum, correct? Expand technical education in the middle school and find adequate teaching staff space to make it happen. PE should not be an overflow substitute class when teaching staff is unavailable. So that would be curriculum. Unless anyone says differently. Get rid of the house team at RMS. That we would say defer to district. So district is another option. That would just give it, that's something that can, the superintendent and the high school, middle school in this case. Grading system is difficult, then we're at competency-based learning. That's been brought up before. Obviously, we know there's some state parts of that. Students are not punished. Again, we're talking about school safety now. Held accountable for missing work, so that would be what, curriculum? Yes.
So that's talking about the curriculum,
Curriculum,
not their behavior.
Not their behavior, thank you. Great choices listed in the survey, very curious about Maple Street Middle School, started as an alternative approach, is it working, not working? So they're more looking at the curriculum, and in this case would be the middle school. The next one is discussing the Latin teacher. I know that was pushed to personnel, but also curriculum. Kids are not bringing homework home. I mean, they say due to COVID, I think that's a conversation based off of competency-based learning. Been on a platform created to be able to have child perform and excel at their best. So we do have, there's actually a word for this, and I'm not thinking, personalized learning, or move on when ready.
Yep.
So curriculum. Kids need to be taught critical thinking to avoid the scams and accuracies that our media passes on, or just gonna, we have curriculum. More STEM programs, for example, robotics team, Rare Bots, curriculum. Comment was about new textbooks, which we have, curriculum has moved into technology. It's a textbook, but it's not a physical textbook, it's a digital one. Play-based learning curriculum, that's for kindergarten, not for 12th grade. Professional development for staff should be relevant to our district needs. So this is where its comment was basically at too many hours have been wasted on courses that had been done previously. So that was a comment about professional development. Promote STEM clubs, robotics, we covered that. Review of all curriculum, covered. Robotics, covered. School safety training, covered. Staffing and appealing incentives, recruitment and staff, that's been moved to personnel. We are asked 5-year-olds to do things that they're not developmentally appropriate, it needs behavior and anxiety. That was actually moved to special services, so that entire one was already handled. Teacher retention, behavior, that is again personnel. Mental health resources for students, that was handled to special services, we can skip that one. The district should allocate more funding for the replacement of curriculum materials. Again, that is, they're talking about textbooks, but we have more online services now. Robotics again, curriculum, there should be student enrichment opportunities for advanced students, as well as air conditioning classrooms. then I went to facilities, and then we have career pathways and such. Too much standardized testing, more real-life learning, curriculum with state standards. And we need to cut down on initiatives as they burn staff out and often lack attention. People want innovation, and that's where we look at professional development. So when you look at this, the items that we need to add to parking lot then, school safety. Sarah, if you want to get to the top, I can read them off.
Parking lot.
If you want to add to parking lot, would be school safety. School safety, professional development's already handled. Career pathways already handled. Curriculum's already handled. Do you have that in the parking lot?
Is there curriculum? I don't think
Please
we have
add.
curriculum.
I'm gonna
What am
read.
I adding?
You're gonna add curriculum.
Okay,
You've already added school safety. You've already added competency-based learning.
we already have that.
So we don't have to add that. And as I go through,
Or do I put it under parking lot now? It's under the community survey. like-
you're gonna put that in the parking lot, please. And now we're gonna look at the items that were previously summarized. Staffing needs studied by department, that went to
Personnel.
personnel. Professional development, all staff, so professional development should be added.
Hang on, please wait.
Yes.
Professional development would be added under parking lot.
Wouldn't that be under personnel though?
Instruction, it's
The topics covered.
instructing staff. It's a form of instruction.
I guess.
Technically, we could defer that to district.
We require so much personnel.
Yeah, that would be actually be more
Professional
back to
development.
district, to be honest with you.
I mean, it could also fall under policy, because by policy, they have to have certain professional development, suicide prevention training, blood pathogens, child abuse training. So technically, it
I would
falls
actually
under
take this off
policy.
and then we go back to district. Because we have policy and certain requirements, and the district puts together other materials that's available based off of need.
Right, but even their contracts have professional development requirements, so.
That's a carryover across all pieces.
So refer to district.
Yeah, and they can come to
I
us
think
as,
instruction, we're talking about what we provide to children.
Okay, yeah.
and then curriculum with math program, which is actually on year one, correct, Christine?
Say that again?
Pilot,
Is
only
it-
certain.
We're piloting a math program right now,
Yes.
Yeah.
and that is all of them.
Wait, where does expand pathways at middle school, high school?
Oh,
parking lot?
so parking lot, sorry, yes, expand career pathways, middle school, high school.
And what about the last?
The last one's a new math program that falls under curriculum, and it's currently just piloted.
Oh,
So,
number two,
Yeah,
it falls
it's
under
number two,
instruction,
yeah.
okay.
well, it's already on the
Number
list
two.
above.
Okay, so we don't have
So at this point, the parking lot is fully developed. The top 4 items are in the instruction, have already been developed. It would be refer back to Christine to see if there's anything from the district that they would have us add to this list. So that'd be under the next step for next meeting for bring forward.
Any questions on
that. Just reviewing. I think that's it.
I mean, one committee to do that tonight, went pretty quick.
Real quick, since I'm looking right at it, but question about the new math, the pilot of the math program. We're piloting 2 programs with a switch coming up.
September to December, and then January to
Right, so
March
next month,
or
next
April.
month there'll be
In January.
January, oh,
switch.
yeah.
And it's not all classrooms, it's certain teachers,
Fourth
certain
grade.
classrooms, different grade levels, different schools across the district, but not every class.
Right, all right, okay.
At some point, we'll get some data probably towards the end of the year.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So that's all the 5-year would have to do for today.
Any other questions, comments?
I just don't know why we would consider something we're piloting and in the middle of active doing to be on the 5-year plan.
Until it's complete.
We're doing it.
Completion, until we formally adopt a new math program. It's still a work in progress, it hasn't been done yet. They haven't chosen a district-wide K-8 program.
It's coming.
We're shopping.
We're in
I know.
progress, in process.
I guess I look at 5-year planning differently.
There's some short-term goals, that's what that really is. Some of those are short-term, and I understand with you, because most times you think 5 years strategically is, in 3 years from now, we're gonna have to get a new math program in place. Well, this one, I think a lot of the information we've been gathering from our different layers it was gathered before that was introduced to us. So it was already a wish, and now it stays on there because we voted that we want to keep it in there as a priority item.
Yeah.
I think it'll be going away faster, which is always nice to see progress that way.
Anything else, folks?
I think so.
Next item on the agenda is public comment. I don't see any public. You all set? Any other?
Were we gonna bring that
Yep.
user agreement
Let's
back?
go on. So there's an agreement for the use of district-issued Chromebooks. I would recommend with a motion that we mirror and update the language in the current staff-student agreement to be used for school board members, and bring that to instruction for further discussion next month.
Second.
Is that what you?
Yeah, and next month our discussion will be about the, because actually a couple of sidebar questions I'll ask.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on that? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I just have one question, and it might be finance related. But I know the music program at the high school does a lot of fundraising, and a lot of their fundraising is for the music required for the curriculum. And I'm wondering why they would be required to do all the fundraising, and why isn't it in the budget? And specifically, the cost of music for some of their programs, like Village, they have to fundraise for, and that's part of their curriculum. Like, the students are required to be a part of it. And I assume marching band shows, football band shows, that's all part of their curriculum. Students are required to be a part of that, and required to be there, required to be a participant in the band show, halftime show, and the music department has to do all the fundraising to pay for that, and the royalties can be substantial. So I know, I don't expect an answer, but it's just something to look into.
You mentioned the sheet music, what else was it?
Just the cost of music and royalties.
Royalties.
Yeah, do we buy any out of it?
I can't answer that, I don't know. I can find out
That's a
though.
good question.
They may pay for some, but it's really not all.
Well, it'd be nice to know what the percentage is that we provide and where we're short.
Okay.
That's all I have. Does anyone else have any other?
No.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.